Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 129 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Today we are talking about the financial soap framework, step 4, which is P, and it stands for progress. How do we know if we're making progress, gaining ground? How do we know if we're losing ground or slipping backwards? Or how do we know if we're just staying the same? Well, we have to find ways to measure our progress. That's why P stands for progress. So I'm going to talk about the 7 most common key financial indicators, kind of like key performance indicators in business, but key financial, the things that we look at with respect to our finances that are most common. You can choose other things, but these are the most common things that people use. I'm going to talk about 7 of those, and then I'm going to talk about 4 steps after I give a couple of examples of how people apply these. 4 steps to how you can do it for yourself in your life today. It's basically just answering 4 questions for yourself, 4 simple questions. Can take less than a couple of minutes. So let's grab my magnifying glass and dive right in. The 7 most common key financial performance indicators are net worth. What's your net worth? Your net worth, of course, is your assets minus your liabilities. Second is your savings ratio. Your savings ratio is your savings divided by your revenue or your income. Usually it's called income for personal and then revenue for business. Third is debt to income ratio, and that is your monthly debt payments divided by your gross monthly income. So what your expenses are divided by your income is your debt to income ratio. Cash flow is income minus expenses. If you're in business or have ever had a business, you know all these indicators. If not, it might be a little bit more challenging for you to use them or do them, especially if you didn't have any finance or any accounting or anything in high school or college. But it's easy. It's all online now. You can just plug the numbers in. You can get an app that does all of this for you. Emergency fund ratio, that is your savings divided by your monthly expenses. So whatever your savings are divided by your monthly expenses, which we should know anyway, gives you your emergency fund ratio. Or you can just keep track of, I like to just keep track of how much money do I have in my emergency fund. I don't turn it into a ratio because to me, it's the hardcore dollar amount is easier to understand than creating it into a ratio. That's just my brain. 6th is investment growth rate. How fast are your investments growing? Or are they growing? Again, I just like to look at the number and make sure it's going up. And then finally, recurring revenue divided by passive income, or recurring revenue and passive income. Do you have any recurring revenue or passive income streams? You want to keep track of those amounts and track those. So those are 7 or 8 of the most common key financial measures or indicators that you could track or pay attention to as part of progress, making sure that you're making progress and creating and getting the financial thing that you want. Now, you have to look at and decide which indicator is appropriate for the goal that you've set or for the area that you're struggling with that you want to improve. What makes sense for this? If it's to get an additional income stream, you're not going to track expenses necessarily. You're going to say, okay, what's the income stream and how much is it bringing in? So you do the thing that makes sense for you. So let's look at a couple examples of this. Jasmine was living from paycheck to paycheck and she wanted to create security in her life. So her goal was to build a $10,000 emergency fund and get 3 months ahead on her bills. Her key indicators that she tracks are monthly savings rate, emergency fund balance. See, she looks at the whole number too. And then monthly fixed expenses. What expenses is she going to have every month, no matter what? Tracking progress. Jasmine uses a simple spreadsheet with automatic formulas. I highly recommend that. It's a great place to start. She monitors her monthly savings rate, aiming for at least 20% of her take-home pay. Each month, she records how many months of expenses her savings could now cover. Once her emergency fund reaches 3 times her monthly expenses, she shifts her focus from her emergency fund to investing because she figures 3 months is enough to cover her. Progress tip, Jasmine uses a budgeting app that integrates with her accounts so that her metrics are automatically updated for her and she gets the information. She has something she calls Financial Review Fridays, and every Friday she looks at her financial situation, her key performance indicators for her key financial indicators for her. Then Omar, he's paying down debt strategically, and his goal was to pay off $15,000 in credit card debt and personal loan debt in 18 months. His key indicators that he tracks are total debt balance, debt to income ratio, DTI, and monthly payment progress, which are all good things for him. And they're specific to his goal, unlike, and also like Jasmine's were specific to her goal. I think it's Jasmine. I don't remember now. Yeah. Too many people, too much time. Tracking progress. Omar created a debt payoff tracker using the snowball method. He's using the snowball method. We've talked about that before, but we could talk about it this month too, if anybody wants to. Each month he enters new balances and watches the DTI ratio fall as his income stays steady and debt drops. He uses color-coded visuals to stay motivated. Green for paid off accounts, red for active ones that he's working on. He also, as a progress tip, celebrates each $1,000 milestone that he pays off to keep him motivated and working toward his goal. We got another example, but I'm going to skip it because I think 2 is enough. So how should you go about tracking your financial progress? 4-step process. Step 1, choose 3 to 5 key indicators that are in alignment with your goal, that are in alignment with the situation that you're specifically wanting to work on or look at. So you want to match them to your specific financial goal, and you want to don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple, because clarity, like I said, I just look at the big number because that's more clear to me than looking at a ratio or a percentage. In many instances, I do that. I know financial people like to look at ratios and percentages. I'm not a financial person, so I choose to look at the simplest form of a number. Use the right tools, spreadsheets, budgeting apps, personal financial platforms, whatever works for you. Set up your own Google Doc or something, or your Google Sheet or Excel, whatever way you'll track it. Or good old-fashioned pad and paper, right? Whatever works for you. But number 1, choose the indicators. Number 2, set up a tool to help you do it, or get tools to help you do it, or decide how you're going to do it. Set a tracking schedule. So schedule when you're going to do what. Like Jasmine does Financial Friday reviews. That I love that, right? And then she automated the process of getting the numbers, so all she has to do is look at them on Fridays. Weekly for cash flow and savings rate. Monthly for net worth, debt, and business revenue. Quarterly for investments and long-term trends, as an example. But you have to pick and choose what's right for you. And then visualize the journey is step 4. I always like to visualize and be grateful for what's working. Use graphs, charts, and color coding to see progress at a glance. I am a huge believer in colorful things because I can see at a glance what and how things are tracking. That's why I use different colors on my Lifeline, etc. And then print out a wall, or you could print out a wall tracker or a habit calendar and just keep track and use one of those tools as well. But do what's right for you. Know you're winning with evidence. Get the proof to document it and show it to yourself. And when you see it, be grateful for it and find ways to celebrate it. That is my advice on progress today. Love to see and hear what you do for progress. Share in the comments below so we can learn from one another. What are you going to track for this particular financial strategy or financial struggle or challenge that we're trying to overcome? Share in the comments below so we can learn from one another. Sometimes it's just faster and easier to say, okay, well, we're tracking the same thing. We're on the same improvement thing. What are you doing? This is what I was thinking about doing, and then talk about it with somebody. All right. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.